Hey guys, welcome back to part 4, I believe, of the Dark Souls 2 series. So, we're just gonna keep it going. I'm not gonna bother attacking the Hedonites that are just chilling there. Because, I mean, I just don't feel the need to. However, they can drop really good items. But I'm not worried about that right now. So we're just gonna keep going. Fall down. Come on, fall, fall, fall. Ah. But I've mentioned in previous videos that I might possibly do Bloodborne. I say possibly because I've been playing it recently, but I haven't gotten very far. I'm on the first dungeon, I believe it's pronounced the Thumaru dungeon or something like that. And I'm on the third layer, and the boss fight is the Watchdog of the Old Lords, I believe. And that boss is extremely difficult. So I don't know if I'm gonna continue playing the game, honestly. I was making the statement last night with one of my buddies that I was in a party with that it's potentially game-breaking for me, but I mean, I'm sure I'm just over-exaggerating, but if you guys want to see that, I will definitely record some Bloodborne. Alright, use that switch and we're gonna go down here. And I'm gonna kill this dude up front and take on the Dragon Rider. Okay, that was just a bad dodge on my part. Running out of stamina is very inconvenient, but hey, it's whatever. I don't remember what's in that chest, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, not that the Hedonites are easy, but just like anything else in this game, can easily kill you if you're not careful. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and go into the boss fight. Doing good damage. We're very strong for this point in the game. So, I'm for sure gonna stick with this armor for a majority of the game, but as far as the sword is concerned, I might switch it out at some point, but as of right now, we're just gonna stick with what I have. He's dead. Easy boss fight. Those two switches that you saw me pull earlier make these outer rings right here that I'm on, make them rise up, because if you don't use those switches, you're just going to end up fighting him on this tiny little platform right here, and it's much more difficult. And of course, you can fall off and die instantly. So you know, just pulling those two switches makes it a whole lot easier. I'm gonna go ahead and light this bonfire and sit at it. I'm gonna get back up and talk to that woman praying over here. Let's skip all her dialogue.
I'd help the kid. So, and I, sorry. No need. The god.
I'm sure they do. But yeah, we're just gonna talk to her so she can go ahead and spawn over at the. Oh, looks like the knight got aggroed somehow. But she'll spawn over, well, not in Majula, but how I went down that staircase in the previous video, and it was kind of that circular area. Well, she'll spawn in there, allowing us to move the gate over and access another area late in the game. But as of right now, we're not gonna go there yet. Pick up some more items. If I remember correctly, over this way, after this guy, is an item that you use to upgrade your Estus flasks. The Sublime Bone Dust. There you go. And this guy you don't fight until way later in the game. Once you get into the Dranglake Castle, but that's not for a very long time. So as you can tell with the Scholar of the First Sin edition, they changed up enemy placements and all that. Probably just to make the game a bit more difficult, but that particular enemy isn't too bad to deal with, unless you know there's more than one. So, but outside of that, not that bad. So, I'm just gonna go down the elevator now. It's this dude trying to surprise us. It's gonna be one of those giant-eyed frog things, but we're not gonna bother with that. Go back to Majula real quick and level up. Gonna use these souls real quick. We're not gonna use the boss souls because we can use their souls to get their weapons. So, and that's always a plus to have. So we're not going to use these 3 souls right here. Or we're going to burn the Sublime Bone Dust and make our Estus flasks stronger. See how it has a +1? It'll heal me more now. Actually, we're gonna get that to 15, that to 10, and we're gonna start increasing our adaptability. So it'll be much easier to roll or dodge and use our life gems faster, or just any item in general. And now, yeah, 64%. I believe I could put the life ring back on, but it doesn't exactly do a whole lot. So we're just gonna keep going. Where is it? There we go. No Man's Wharf. That's the name of the place. And forgetting all the names of the different areas of this game. It's been quite a while. I doubt I'm gonna remember much from Dark Souls 3. So go. This area is kind of pirate-y themed, sort of. We're not gonna worry about that guy yet. Barely missed. You're gonna want to be careful right here. That is an area where you can fall off and die. It's a little bit hard to miss if you're not paying attention, but just make note of that. I'm gonna go up here and kill this guy. Soul of a Proud Knight. That will enable us to get even more souls when we use it. The Titan Shard. Another thing to note is that not everything can use the same sort of upgrade material. So, like the boss's armor and weapons require different upgrade materials than, say, a standard sword and piece of armor. So it all depends on what you have. The armor and sword that I have right now, I believe, requires Twinkling Titanite, which is a much more rare item than regular Titanite, so that should tell you how powerful these items are. This guy's just gonna help us out. Oh, come on. This guy's gonna help us out with this little area. He will disappear after a while, so don't count on him too much. That dude fell down here and he's gonna follow us. The enemies in this, or the NPCs in this game, can follow you for quite some time. So, and this is Lucatiel of Mira.
I don't know you. Things are better that way.
And you're gonna have to talk to her for a little bit, but once you start talking to her, she can help you out with boss fights later in the game.
Don't hesitate to...
She will help out with the boss fight in this area, as well as 3 other bosses. And if she survives at least 3 of them, she'll you can get her armor, which is pretty cool because it's actually not that bad for light armor, so it's a pretty decent set of armor. Once we go up here, we're gonna fight some very grotesque looking creatures. But they can cause bleeding, which bleeding in this game is different than how it was before. In Dark Souls 1, you just lose a ton of health extremely fast. And here, it actually makes your stamina bar a whole lot smaller than what it currently would be. So it gives you a lot less room to actually do stuff. But yeah, this guy doesn't take us all the way through the area, but I mean, he's just a nice help to have. I mean, I could easily go through this area by myself, but I mean, who's gonna turn down help when it's offered? So. I knew one of these dudes was gonna pop up. I just couldn't remember where. Normally, I don't think you see these, that particular type of enemy until the boss fight, in New Game Plus. So that should tell you that they've definitely changed certain things. Ooh. Bastard. Almost made me bleed. These vases are full of poison, so you're gonna want to be careful with that. However, let's try to have them equipped already. I'm just gonna use a throwing knife, so it'll shatter, and we'll be able to pass through and pick up the items. Fragrant branch of yore can be used to get rid of petrified statues that may be in your way. And there's a few of them throughout the game. I believe this is a ring. Yes. Which will, yes, lower my, or increases my maximum load. So notice how it goes from about 65 to 59. So I would be able to theoretically carry more heavy items. I could have sworn there was something in there. Guess not. Doesn't seem like there's anything else in here. There are a few hidden enemies in this little section, so you're gonna want to be careful. However, you can actually get them to aggro and then just go ahead and knock them off the edge. But you want to be careful when you're rolling, because just as they can fall off and die, you can do the same. So you're just going to want to be careful with that. And here's Lucatilla Primera for this boss fight. This particular boss fight, I remember when I first fought it, it freaked me out because I wasn't expecting it to be what it was. And you guys will see it right now. I mean, it's not difficult, but it's not super easy. I mean, for me, I'm used to it. But I believe the longer you take to fight the boss in general, the more the water will rise up, because the entire arena is in water, so if you decide to take forever in fighting the boss, the water will rise up, and I mean, I don't think you'll drown, but it'll be like waist high water, and you'll be extremely slow. And it's the Flexile Sentry. I found that it's easier to fight the mace side than the sword side of this boss, simply because he's slower and his attacks are a lot more easier to dodge. do believe his attacks cause bleeding, but I can't say for the swords, but I know that maces do. We are going to see this guy much later on in the game, not as an actual boss, but as an enemy that we have to fight. I think once or twice more after this, but he's not a boss. He's just sort of like a mini boss, if you will. And with that, he is dead. And Lucatiel despawned. And we will see her again for once we go back to the Lost Bastille. She's going to help us out with the final boss of that area. And this will take us to another portion of the Lost Bastille, which I want to go through first, and then we'll go back to the other side where the eagle dropped us off after we killed the pursuer. So we're gonna go through this area, pick up the items real quick, and then we'll go back to the other side and continue on with this particular area. Later, nerd. There's gonna be some items right here. Pick those up real quick. And there is a bonfire right here. I'm gonna light it real quick and then rest at it, so we can get the durability of our items and armor and swords back. Because resting at bonfires in this game does replenish the durability. If they're completely broken, you'll have to find a blacksmith to repair them, but if they just have worn down durability, then you can just rest at a bonfire and get them back without having to use something like a repair powder. So I believe I have a crossbow. And we're gonna go ahead and put that. That's it. Another thing to note about this is that the arrows that are launched at you they sort of curve. So like if you're standing just outside of, like if they were to go straight and you're just outside of the arrow's way, it'll like curve, and it looks very strange. Why they decided to make that a thing is beyond me, but I believe you'll see it later on in this area, where the bolts will just start curving for no reason. I mean, I think it's a dumb idea, but hey, it's whatever. 3 for 1, nice. And we picked up a weapon. That is fantastic. So we're gonna go ahead and kill this guy. In this chest, and then we'll go to the other side where the eagle dropped us off. And then we will continue our adventure in the Lost Bastille. towards the next Great Soul, which I will explain later. So right now we're just gonna go back to Majula and give the Emerald Herald the Estus Flask Shard that we just picked up, so I can have an extra one, and then we'll probably end the video there.
Is that it is, however?
Actually, yeah, we'll end it there. Let's see if I have any. I thought I had a Twinkling Titanite, so I could upgrade the sword, but we're gonna go ahead and buy some more life gems since this merchant has an unlimited amount, so you can buy as many as I want, but we'll just buy 30, and they come fairly cheap. So I did that, and we'll use the rest of the souls to level up.
Berries, lest this.
Forgot I gave it to her already. Okay, I'm gonna put that to 10. Start upgrading our health and endurance. Because if this series does end up turning into a no death run, then that'll be fantastic, but if I die, then oh well. But if I don't die, then that's even better, because it's actually, I mean, as hard as doing a no death run in this game it can be, it's actually very easy as well. I mean, it's just knowing when to roll and managing your stamina and all that. So, but anyways, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this video, and we will continue the next one at the Lost Bastille. Bye, guys.